What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to your SBA EIDL deferment and forgiveness video. It is Thursday, December the 1st, 2022. Please do me a huge favor, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and go find us at trysmallbiz.com where you can advertise your company for free. Or for just $1 a day, you can become a premium member and we'll promote you to more than 135,000 people on social media. That's trysmallbiz.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in a very important video, please like and share it all over the place. I will briefly discuss the 90% deferment of your payments. I will talk about what those that have loans over $200,000 can say. If your profits are higher than your losses with respect to the application, I will outline a plan to bring the interest rate down to 1% and remove the accrual of interest. And I will close out by talking about what is it going to take to get the whole thing forgiven so that you never pay the SBA an effing dime. So ladies and gentlemen, pull up a chair, grab yourself a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, whiskey on a big rock, or an ice cold light beer. Here we go. First one on the day. Here's mud in your eye. "96 calories. Sponsor of the video, I don't know, that'd be a hoot. 96 calories, 2 grams of carbs. Someone brought it over to me. It tastes pretty good, and it helps me from getting too fat. So look, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, who the fuck is trading with us on Twitter at TrySmallBiz? Huh? 177% in COMS, HLBZ 3 or 4 times. And by the way, even though that damn thing did run to close to 14, where is it right now? 0.112. We sold it slightly higher. So yeah, it's been all over the place. And you cherry pickers might have gotten another 10 or 15%. But holy shit, if you're not following me on Twitter at TrySmallBiz, you're making a huge mistake. But with respect to EIDL, many of you, this is so much fun. Are you having fun yet? Let me know in the comments. Is anybody having fun? Do you like light beer? Do you drink coffee? Do you drink it all? Tell me what the hell's going on. It's been a week since I've last seen you guys. I miss you. But with respect to the EIDL 90% deferment of your payments, hundreds of you, many have called 866-2-SMALL-BIZ. I'll talk to you even if you're a free member. I hope you get a premium, but 866-2-SMALL-BIZ if you have any questions. By the way, Becky, God bless you for sharing your story. Guy, who loves to call me, it seems like every other week. Roberto, who's got an amazing business in New York City. Absolute honor and privilege to be serving the small business community. But many of you have gotten your payments reduced by 90%. It's very simple. You won't see the red button at caweb.sba.gov until you're 2 months or less from making your first payment. If you don't see the button and you're inside of 2 months with a loan under $200,000, call the SBA. It's the 833 number. They'll be able to get it fixed for you. Many times they're actually able to add it in while they're on the phone if you have someone who's got experience. But if not, they'll fix it generally within a week. For those of you that have loans over $200,000, you've gotten applications and you've noticed that one of the things that they're looking for is your profit or loss statement. And I've had numerous conversations in the past week for people that are doing quite well, but they want to get their payments reduced by 90% for at least 6 and probably 12 months. So here's what you should do. When you explain in your application that you want deferment, it's okay to say, while our profits have been doing well in the last 12 months, we suffered a 30, 40, 80% drawdown between 2020 and when the pandemic ended in my area of 2022. And here's the important part that you might want to add. And with the recession that's beginning to take hold and the layoffs that we're starting to see, I would respectfully ask that you give us 90% deferment. So, in other words, let me summarize what I just said. I'm a little amped up today, but you might want to include a couple of sentences in your application. While our profit and loss at present is doing okay, let's assume your profits are higher than your losses, you're worried about getting deferment. We took a huge hit from 2020 to 2022, let's say, where our revenue dropped as much as 80% or our profits dropped as much as 50%. And here's the key line that has helped some people in the last, let's say, 72 hours. And with the recession that's beginning to take hold in my area and the layoffs that we're starting to see, and it's all over the news, I would respectfully ask that you give us 90% deferment. Here's the deal. The SBA is under enormous pressure. They've got multiple lawsuits from the firm in California that I referenced about a month or so ago. And there's others in Texas and Florida. They know they have a PR nightmare problem. By the way, do you mind if I have another sip of the beer? They've got a PR problem, and I honestly don't think they want a tussle. And they also know, and a shout out to Miss Isabel Guzman, who has come to the agreement that we've got a problem. There's 4 million loans outstanding. Half of these companies will not make it through the end of next year. It's a well-known secret that 50% of small businesses fail within 5 years. 80% are done within 10. They know they've got a problem, thanks to myself, the great Speak and See, and of course, Ryder over at Skip, who have pounded it into submission that they need to not only defer these payments, but reduce the interest rate, get rid of the accrual of the interest, and forgive the fucking loan so that you never pay the SBA a dime. So include a couple of sentences there. If your profits are strong, that the layoffs are mounting, the recession has begun, and you respectfully would like to get the 90% deferment. We've already had a few people succeed with that. All right. I am working with, if you recall, Thomas Sweezy. He's from my home state in New York. I now live just outside of Atlanta. I'm watching his stock all over the place. I'll talk about that later, ladies and gentlemen, but holy shit, if you're not following me on Twitter, if you're not up 15x, 3x, 4x, 5x, for all you cherry pickers out there, you're making a huge mistake, because the $1 a day that I keep asking you for is a fucking drop in the bucket compared to the amount of money that we're going to make over the next 10, 15, 20 years. So get yourself a premium membership. But Thomas Sweezy, Problem Solvers Caucus in the House in July of 2020, put forward a bill to lower the interest rate to 1%. Right now it's 3.75. I am working with them to convince them to reintroduce the bill, and in that bill, lower the interest rate to 1%, which is similar to what you had to pay before it was forgiven in PPP. And in that same bill, and it was not the case the first time, remove the accrual of interest, because if you're like me, you went to your caweb.sba.gov to get your payments deferred, and you realize, holy shit, the amount of money that's accruing in terms of the interest rate is through the roof. So, simply put, I want to reintroduce a bill to lower the rate to 1%, to remove the accrual of interest that has been building for the last 2 years. I think there's a possibility as we go into the beginning of this year, when there's massive layoffs and almost every reasonable firm is calling for a recession. The big question is it going to be a mild recession or a deep one that goes on for the next 12 to 18 months? Flip a coin. The bottom line is we need some help. So I am going to work very hard. You're going to see me do a number of videos. You're going to see me running my mouth once again on Twitter. Follow me at Try Small Biz to get them to reintroduce a bill that gets 1% on the rate, the removal of the accrual of interest, which leads me to my final point. What's it going to take to get the loans forgiven? As I said in a prior video, they have taken the first step forward. We were pounding them for 6 months to a year to get deferment. While it's not total deferment, it's 90% deferment for 6 months to a year. And again, if you have questions or concerns, 866-2SMALL-BIZ. It generally takes me 1 business day to call you back. But they've taken a step towards us, and they move slow, right? It's crawl, it's walk, it's run with the SBA or the federal government. But when you combine what the Restaurant Association proposed 2 months ago, where they lop off the last 20 years of the loan, meaning instead of you paying for 30 years, you only pay for 10. That's being circulated in Washington, D.C. among some very influential members of the Problem Solvers Caucus and in the Senate under Chuck Schumer. Here's the deal. We have an election coming up in 2024. And something tells me whether it's Trump and or DeSantis against the big guy, it's going to be as cutthroat as it's ever been. So in order to buy some votes, they're going to need to help some folks out. So the first step is to get the bill to lower the interest rate to 1% and remove the accrual of interest. The SBA has funded more loans in the last 2 years than the last 50 years combined. Do you know they went from almost nothing on their balance sheet to over $1 trillion? They do not need to rape, pillage, and plunder people with respect to the accrual of the interest, Miss Guzman. But if we have to put forward an official bill, I will work my ass off, as I have for 2 years, to get that done. And once we get that through, hopefully by the end of March in the first quarter, as we go into the election of 2024, I will raise holy hell. I will move heaven and earth to help Congress and the SBA understand that we cannot allow millions of small business owners that were forced to take out a loan through no fault of their own to spend the next 30 years paying off something that was totally unnecessary in the first place. We want it treated just like PPP. We want the accrual of the interest removed. We want the interest rate on whatever we pay, whether it's 10, 20, or 30 years, put down to 1%. And ladies and gentlemen, I will save the stock rampage for a video in the next day or two. So until next time, always remember in slightly over 10 minutes that I love you and I thank you so much for watching.